Yo guys, sorry you already know that today I'm going to be recapping week 26 of my 2025 video game Backlog. There's a link in the description if you need the full explanation to the games on this list and what we're doing here. But I brought it up on the last video, but this is going to be a little bit of a special circumstance. Generally, I record these every Friday and get these up to you every Saturday. This is still getting up to you on Saturday. However, this is being recorded on Wednesdays. We are dealing with a short week because I'm going to be away for the next 4 days. Not home at all, and I would not be able to record and upload on Friday, Saturday. So we have a little bit of a condensed time to talk about the backlog this week. As always, I am going to go ahead and give a quick recap as to what happened, dive a little, then I'll take a section of the video to dive a little bit deeper into the games that I'm playing, and then I will preview the week ahead. So let's go ahead and just talk about the games that are on here. Bioshock, I think I played one more session of, and it's still going. I still have quite a ways to go, but it's still going. Shovel Knight is its own interesting segment because I have beaten the main game. However, the version of the game that I have is Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, which comes with 3 of the DLCs. There was one DLC I decided to not play, and one that I am currently playing, and then I'll probably play the third one. So that is a journey that's ongoing that I will dive deeper into when I get to that section of the video. So that's super fun. In terms of new games, the big update is that I did beat Clair Obscur Expedition 33, so we have that. I also learned that in Xbox Hours Played, for some reason, it likes to calculate it by telling you that it's like 1 day, 3 hours, 55 minutes, instead of just like, I don't know, being normal and just saying the amount of hours like any other system would do. So of course, Xbox has to be the weird one, but I did not like that, but that should be up to date. Lost Records Bloom and Rage, I actually don't think I've played since the last video. I would like to make an effort to maybe try and play it before I leave my little trip, but we'll see about that. Date Everything is a playthrough that I have been uploading on my channel, so you can watch that to see my full thoughts, but I'm still having fun with that. But I also just decided to go crazy with it and add a couple of more games. And for reference, I'm not going to dive that deep into either of them this week because I was unable to record footage for them. So I'll talk more about them next week. But the games that I started playing, one is, I've been mentioning it for a little bit, that I had Nine Souls installed, and I did start playing that. So that was super fun. That was just another, that was just a way to play something on the Xbox once I finished Clair Obscur. That was kind of what spurned that on for me. But I also started, I kind of started a new game. It's one that doesn't have a finish though, as I was playing a little bit of a Rematch, which is a soccer game, which is a lot of fun. So that is what happened in terms of games this past week. So that's super exciting. I'll just put like an hour, could be 2, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not really going to jump into Rematch or Nine Souls because I just have not had the chance to get footage for them. If you want the very short gist, Nine Souls seems cool, but it is a Metroidvania, and I'm very worried about my ability to navigate one of those, as I've struggled in the past. So we'll see how that goes. And then Rematch is fun. It's literally like Rocket League, but with people, which sounds stupid. You would think that's just soccer, but like legitimately the gameplay, very arcade style, has like the invisible walls. I don't know. It's like, or the invisible walls, so like, you know, like you can't go out of bounds or whatever. It's like force field walls, whatever. It's very fun so far, but it's not really like a game that has a start and finish, so it's something I'll just play here and there when I feel like it. So I guess it's here in this section just to log, I guess, how many hours that I'm putting into it. But that is where we are at in terms of that. There weren't any really like events of note over the past week, other than just a lot of work. So all this gaming has just had to be done around like a pretty crazy new work schedule that is fine, but is also provided some challenges with the schedules and whatnot. But things will continue to be okay, and I have a lot of free time moving forward over the next couple weeks, which I'm very, very excited about. But yeah, I guess we're gonna go ahead and jump into the next section of the video, and I will take a little bit of time to talk about each of the games that I played this week, and anything that I don't talk about in this section for this week, I will talk about for next week. Like, I don't think I'm gonna touch back in on Lost Records Bloom and Rage because I haven't really played it over the past like 4 days since I recorded the last video. So I'm not going to expand on that any further. And then I said I'm not going to talk about Nine Souls, Rematch, or Date Everything for the reasons that I've already stated. So we are just going to be talking about the same games that we have been talking about. However, the one that we're going to talk about for the last time in terms of this series is Clair Obscur Expedition 33, because I did finally beat the game, and it is really good. It is fantastic even. It's definitely a game that I think warrants another playthrough in the future. And I also kind of rushed to finish it because I was on a little bit of a time restraint. I tried to play it a little bit like before work, and I kept getting into these like long cutscenes and also like long fights. The final boss is just really just too much. It was like one-shotting my characters. It was like bad with certain attacks or whatever, or just like over time. It's very hard. So I did end up changing the difficulty to easy literally just for the final boss, because I did not have the patience to grind for hours and hours to hopefully get good enough to beat it. So it was a little underwhelming to feel like I had to finish it that way. I think the alternative was to go out and find optional stuff and level up and whatnot, or just grind for like 20 levels, and that didn't really sound fun. And in the spirit of wanting to move on and spend those hours playing other games instead of grinding away at the same game over and over again, when I knew that I had the ability to just beat it, I chose to go that route. So it is what it is. It is still very fun. The combat is good, but the last couple bosses, you know, it's a bit much. It is a bit much. So I don't know. And also, like, I never really found that much extra optional, like in terms of areas and bosses. I didn't find that much more. So I don't even know where I should have looked, like in the overworld map. That might have been something that would have been better to know, like along the way. The few areas that I ever stumbled on always had like a danger, which is only there if you're like super underleveled, and so I try not to mess with that. So I never really came across a side area that had a lot of combats that could help like make my characters better or whatever, just like along the path or anything. So I'm sure I missed out on a lot. The other thing to bring up is the story. I still don't really understand. I think I need to watch the YouTube videos to help explain to me like what is going on, because I don't know. Maybe I just don't care enough about the story. But I feel like everybody's I don't know. Like everybody's so dramatic, and it's like it seems like emotional, but then it's like I don't know how much is real. I don't know. It's whatever. The characters are cool, and that's all that really matters. The story, I was literally skipping cutscenes by the end because I'm just like, I don't care enough, and I knew that each one was going to be like, you want to sit here and watch this movie for like 15 minutes, and no, that's not what I want to do. I wanted to play video games. So all that to say, a slightly lower experience as compared to what has been like essentially a perfect masterpiece of a game for like 99% of its run. And yeah, Clair Obscur is a game that a lot of people hold in high regard, and I will hold it in high regard as well moving forward. But yeah, just had some slight frustrations with the end, but I do think it's a game that I can see myself replaying down the line, and it be a lot of fun. I'm just gonna touch, I guess, on BioShock really quick. I don't have much more to update there. I think I played one session of that for maybe like an hour, and I also just kind of looked up a guide just to get a general sense of like how far I am through the game. I think I'm maybe a third of the way. I don't know. I've still got room to go. And I mean, it's cool, it's fun, but it's fine. You know, I'm not in a rush to continue playing it a lot, but I probably should pick up my pace with that game specifically. No, the thing that I have to talk the most about today is, of course, going to be Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is a game that I started playing last week, and so it's already gotten a spiel as to why it's on the list. And Shovel Knight has been a really fresh and fun like throwback to like classic side scroller like platformers, with a little bit of a new school like quality of life features. The checkpoints generally are fairly frequent and not too like unfair in terms of like how much you have to redo if you die. There were a couple like really tricky levels by the end, and I started like the value of going out of my way for gems really lost its value when I would continue to die and like lose them. So like there were certain levels that I would go in with like a couple thousand gold and I would leave with like nothing. And so a lot of the levels there will be secrets that you can find, or you can go to an extra path or whatever and get collectibles. But those collectibles a lot of times will just be like a treasure chest with money in them, and money kind of just started to lose its value. There wasn't really anything worth buying. I mean, I bought some of the magic upgrades. I think I bought some snazzy armor to look cool, and maybe like an attack that I basically never ended up using. So yeah, I don't know. They're like, it would have been nice for there to be more things to spend money on. And I guess if you are playing more optimally, I think I was supposed to like replay levels to grind up money to get everything, but that just didn't really seem worth it. But overall, I would say that I had a really fun time. I think, you know, it's very fun. It's very simple. But the level design is generally very good. Like I said, it can be a little frustrating, it can be a little challenging, but I think it's a fun challenging that once you conquer the challenges, it just feels very rewarding. I meant to look up the names of the DLCs that the treasure trove comes with, because once I finished it, I thought to myself, I was like, okay, well, I beat the main story of Shovel Knight. I was like, I could just, you know, take this off and move on. But in the main menu, there are literally 4 different stories to choose from, one of them being the Shovel Knight like base game story. And then there are 3 others, which I looked into and saw that all 3 of them were DLCs. So let me take you through what I've been doing with that. I started playing the one where you play as Plague Knight. I think it's like Plague of Shadows or something. And I really did not like that. The levels, at least the first level, seems to be essentially a carbon copy of the exact same. And based on the description, I think a lot of the levels are the same, but you just play as a different character. And I don't like the way that the character moves. You use bombs to attack, which is fine, but you also use the bombs to sort of like launch yourself. And when you launch yourself, you have a lot of momentum, and it's very hard to do precise platforming when you are trying to land on a platform when you have momentum from like moving sideways. It's essentially like landing and having to deal with ice physics like nonstop. It's not a fun way to move around. It's not a fun way to continue to die if I'm trying to like land on a platform and the game's like, nope, you have too much momentum, you just fall off. Falling off because you just slightly couldn't line up is not very fun. So I decided I'm not going to play that DLC. So instead I moved into the next one, which I believe you're playing as like Spectre Knight or something. I feel like it's called Spectre or something. That one's been a lot better. You have the scythe to attack. You also can climb walls to an extent, as well as boost off of like enemies, and that's been a lot better. It has a few more interesting levels. It's different. The levels are different. Some of them have callbacks to the original levels that they might be based on, but a lot of them feel unique and catered to the new characters like moveset a lot better. And I've been having a lot of fun with that. And then the last one that I have not started is like, I think the King of Cards or something. And that one looks like it will be fun as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed Shovel Knight, especially given the time that it came out. I can see why I've heard only like really high praise about it. I'm sure there's games that have sort of imitated Shovel Knight since, but I'm sure that when it came out, it was kind of a nice breath of fresh air. Yeah, I really did enjoy it. The bosses were generally very, very fun and did not take me more than a couple of attempts to beat. There's like a final boss rush thing before the final boss that was kind of tricky, and then the final boss itself was also kind of tricky. But at the end of the day, they're both fun to get through and complete and be successful. So that was nice. And that, I think, is where I'm going to wrap up Shovel Knight and this section of the video today. And next week, assuming I can get some time dipped into all of the games, and I can get some gameplay recorded for some of these Xbox Ones, then I'll have even more to talk about next week. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to the preview of the week ahead. So as you're seeing this, or as this is uploaded on Saturday, I will be away at PopCon. I'm going to be there. It's in Indianapolis, and it is yeah. So it's like I guess it's a 3-day thing, but I'll be leaving there a day early. So I'll be gone for 4 days, which means that I'm not going to be able to play any of these console games, whatever. So the plan is to go ahead and take my 3DS and take both the Fire Emblem games and probably try and start Shadows of Valentia. So that way I have some gaming hours going into, like, you know, I have some gaming hours going into the list in some capacity. And then when I get back, I can, you know, play some of these. Also, once I get back, as the 4th of July is coming up, I will have a few days off from work just because there's not, the place that I work at is not going to have, like, work there to be done. So I'm not going anywhere. I'll just have free time, and that free time, I'm hoping to dedicate a lot of it to playing through some of these backlog games. So that is where we are. We are halfway through the year and not halfway through the list hours-wise, so I definitely need to pick it up. And the summer is still going to be a little hard because I do have some other trips planned. But I think overall I am doing better with keeping myself tracked on playing games. I feel like I played a decent amount of Shovel Knight. I know my final play time for the main game was like 7 hours, and I've probably put in an extra hour or two in the DLC since. So I feel like I have been very good with my time with that. Between that, Clear Obscure, and Rematch, and Bioshock, like I probably played like 10 to 15 hours. No, probably like 15 in like a 5-day stretch, 4 or 5-day stretch. I feel like that's not bad. So hopefully I can keep up stuff like that, and it'll be nice and good. So I think that is where we are going to wrap it up. I think I touched all the main points that I wanted to make. This was kind of a rushed video, and a little bit of a rushed week. But next week will be less so, most likely. So that is exciting. Any comments, questions, concerns, what have you, feel free to let me know in the comment section. But I will go ahead and get out of here, and I will see you all next week as we move on to the second half of the year, starting with week 27, which is exciting, I guess. But hopefully you are excited about that, but I will catch you all next week. Goodbye.